Hi everyone, we're here for the fourth round of the season then of this first season of FXR, the brand new league on F1 2020 for Xbox. Here are the results from Q1 then. Bit of a surprise there with Qual going out. I believe he crashed out during the session, so that was why he didn't set a time, but as you saw we actually had a much bigger turnout this week, so that is good for this than the Chinese Grand Prix. We had 17 then at the start. I believe someone else maybe joined later on as well. Here we are in Q2 then. We went for the medium tyres here then, because they'll be the better tyres to start on if it's a dry race. And there was actually another big surprise in Q2 then, because Psycho's Wish did not manage to set a time. I believe he got invalidated a few times, and then when he tried to go back out at the end there wasn't quite enough time for him, so yep, he ended up out then in Q2. A big surprise there, down in 15th position for him. And we will see then the results from that session. We got through then in 7th place on the medium tyres, but that was really just as a precaution because there was actually rain forecast for this race, certainly for the start, so that probably wouldn't have even mattered really starting on the medium, well, qualifying on medium tyres, because there's a good chance that we won't be starting on them. I sort of did that just in case, you know, there was all like a weird thing happened with the game where maybe it was raining but like the track was still dry enough for the slick tyres, just in case that happened. But nonetheless then we got through, so here is our lap then in Q3 around this China circuit then, the Shanghai circuit. And this is a track that historically has always been a bit of a bogey track for me then, having not won here before in any league that I've ever competed in. I've competed at this track in some form, like done a league race here on every game since F1 2011, and yep, it's just never yielded a win for me, but obviously hoping for that to change today then. We've had a good start to the season so far then, with 2 wins and a 2nd place, so that has put us at the top of the championship going into this round, so we want to keep that going if we can. It's looking like this lap time that we're on at the moment is quite good. I do quite like this track on this game, so hopefully our fortunes are going to change. As I say, we're on course here to improve our lap time, but then Pyro actually goes with a 30.0, so it's not looking like we're going to be pole here, but I think we are still looking good to improve our time. We cross the line, we do indeed improve to the front row. We're going to be 2nd on the grid then for the start, and that's a good qualifying for us then. Pyro and Jono back this week, so that's good. That's a couple more people then who are going to be fighting at the front, I would think. And we also had a teammate who I believe got knocked out in Q2 there, so that's good to see for us then, that we've got a teammate, that is. And it is indeed then going to be a wet start, starting on the intermediate tyres then. I saw Jono there actually disconnected, and then he actually, fortunately for him, managed to rejoin for the race there. But yeah, we'll be starting the inters. It is going to dry up right near the end then, by the looks of things. So yeah, we'll have to see how that works out then. Did make some slight changes to the setup from what I would have done, but yeah, because it is looking like it will be predominantly a wet race, so it looks like it was a good decision to maybe do that then. So we come to the end of the warm-up lap then, just getting ready to go onto the grid, and then we actually make a bit of a mistake there then, spinning off. I mean, it wouldn't really have mattered if we'd hit the wall there because damage isn't on yet, but still, that's not really the kind of thing you want to be doing right before you're meant to be going racing then, spinning it out on the warm-up lap there. So yeah, that certainly wasn't the ideal way to end that lap then. Got maybe some grass on our tyres now for the start. We obviously hope not, but nonetheless then we're going to come to the grid then. Everyone in front of us wondering why on earth that slot there in front of them is empty, but we finally show up then on the grid, and we are just now moments away then from the start of this race, and the lights are coming on now. Away we go then. We've got blue flags for some reason there, but we've had a very good start. Already getting alongside Pyro then. We've got the inside line heading towards turn 1. We're up the inside, and it looks like we're going to lead here into the first corner. Pyro fighting back on the outside, but it looks like we've managed to maintain it, have we? Looks like we've done just enough there to edge him out, and we're going to be leading then through these first few corners, so that's exactly the start we wanted then. we're up into first place, and we can now hopefully control things from the front here. Then we'll have to obviously watch out though, because he may come back at us here into the hairpin in turn 6, but not quite close enough there then. And yeah, we got ourselves up to front, and we see the replay of the start, and we just had a much better launch, I think, just straight off the line there. We went into overtake, somebody at the back there didn't get away, so that caused a bit of carnage there. I think it may have been Kev in the racing point, but yeah, we just got ourselves up the inside then, and we took the lead then straight from the start and managed to hold it through the first couple of corners there. And there's actually a bit of contact further back there with the McLaren and the Ferrari there. Didn't quite see what happened there, but that actually allowed us to have quite a big gap then, me and Pyro, and by lap 3 we'd already extended it to well, about 6 seconds over the rest of the field there. So we were really going along strong here then at the start here, and yeah, Pyro matching us so far then in this race. Obviously he was right up there at the front when we had a wet race in Australia as well, so yeah, it's turned into a bit of a repeat of that then. And by lap 5 we were 12 seconds clear, which is kind of crazy actually. But we can see Psycho Swish and Jono both coming through now then. Obviously they'd had issues before, but yeah, for us then it's quite good really, because Pyro just couldn't get close enough to us down the straight there, so we were managing to maintain our lead then and maintain this gap. We had a big moment there on lap 8, but yeah, thankfully managed to recover it just as we were starting to pull out a little bit. But yeah, that was a bit of a warning to us there to take it a bit easier there. But nonetheless then, I think a similar thing happened in Australia. I think despite that little moment I had there, I think just my tyre wear was better than Pyro's. We started to build up a bit of a gap now then, and whereas it had been close to a second, we were starting to build up now and pull it out to nearly 2 seconds here then. So yeah, once again then, just a little bit better with tyre wear. And in fact, by the end of the next lap then, we're going to see that Pyro actually pitted from second place, whereas I'm trying to stay out here until the track dries out if at all possible. So we wanted to dry out pretty soon then, because obviously now Pyro's gone to another set of inters. Our tyres there were still looking pretty good to go for another few laps, but yeah, by lap 18 we're on 70%, and we are now thankfully getting the strategy call. I think I could have probably only done maybe one more lap after this, and then I would have been really risking a puncture. So we managed to look after our tyres just long enough then for the track to dry out enough for slick tyres. So we managed to manage that quite well then, as we see Pyro did get himself back up to second place then, but he's now 20 seconds behind. A bit of an issue here though is that when we do come in for our stop then, our teammate is nearly a lap down and he's going to be serviced first then, so that's going to hold us up a little bit at our pit stop, which isn't exactly ideal here then. And yeah, we do get held well, for a few seconds there. Probably lost about, let's say, 3 seconds maybe overall in that, as we obviously had to wait to actually pull in, and then they were a little bit slow with the actual stop. So yeah, that wasn't exactly ideal there, as we come out then on medium tyres, which should take us to the end now then. But yeah, we will have lost a bit of time there. Pyro interestingly going for soft tyres, so I imagine he'll be catching us up quite a bit here. Which, I mean, I wasn't too worried because I expected the soft tyres to go off, but still, I didn't really want him to catch us up because, yeah, if he like pulled away from us, then that could be a bit sketchy for us. I also had to pause briefly here because my headphone set got caught in my wheel, which wasn't great, but we didn't really lose much from that. And yeah, but you can see that that slow pit stop certainly hurt them, because we ended up losing about 6 or 7 seconds there to the others in the pits. So yeah, it certainly didn't help us there, but I think we're still looking in a very good position here. Skipping only a few more laps then, and Pyro had the gap down to less than 4 seconds. As we see, we're actually capturing it to quite a train of cars here then that are a lap down. And what doesn't actually help is that some of them are AI cars, so they're not as willing to move over as maybe a real life player would, who obviously wants to respect the leaders and make way. So yeah, that was a little bit of an issue there then, and it doesn't really help that was happening just when Pyro's catching us, but the soft tyres should be going off quite soon. And we did actually get a bit of good fortune here, because we managed to catch one of these back markers right in the DRS zone, so we managed to pull away a bit, and that was quite good for us there, because Pyro had closed the gap down to 2.5 seconds, so he really was coming at us. But it's surely only a matter of time before those soft tyres start going off, so the fact that we got DRS there helped us out quite a bit there, allowed us to pull out that gap a little bit more, really crucial point there. So yeah, that worked out quite nicely for us, and then our team actually pitted, so that was another car out of this train, and that really did just work out perfectly for us because the soft tyres just lost their pace literally right at that moment where we started picking up DRS from the back markers, and yeah, just halted completely that charge from Pyro right there, and then we just managed to open up the gap out again, and yeah, I actually got quite close between Pyro and Swish there for second place. I believe they both have penalties, but Swish had a bigger one, so whilst he did actually overtake, he is going to drop back down. So Pyro went for a bit of a gamble, and he didn't really lose anything from it, so I guess fair enough for him to go for it. But for us, though, it's 3 out of 4 then. We win the Chinese Grand Prix, and yep, for the first time ever, we have won at this circuit. Yep, the 10th different game that we've played this track on in the league race, and we have finally got our win at this one. So it's just, I believe, well, there's obviously 2 new tracks in there, Netherlands, Monza and Paul Ricard that we haven't yet won at, so hopefully we'll get those soon. But yeah, we finally have our China win. That is one of our bogey tracks and finally crossed off, so I was quite happy for that, and obviously happy to extend the championship lead. There's a bit of a glitch with the fastest lap here. It said my teammate got it with a 10-minute lap, so obviously that wasn't the case. Pyro actually got that, as well as second place, with Swish recovering to 3rd from 15th today, and Jono getting some more points then in 4th. So yep, good race then. We'll see the championship standings on screen now. Something I've been forgetting to mention actually is that there's a different point system to actual F1. The points go down to 12. The only difference is that once it gets down to 7th place for 6 points, it then goes down in ones all the way to 12, so that's the only difference there. But for us, though, we extended our championship lead. It's been a really great start for us, and we're now on 95 points, so it's been just a really great start for us. We'll just have to try and maintain it if we can. Then it's Psycho Special up to 2nd then with 50 points because Munzi didn't finish today, so he drops to 3rd, and yep, Korg moves up to 4th, although I think he might stay 4th actually with 35, and Pyro and Jono have both closed up as well then on 31 and 30 respectively. So yep, that is it then for this round of FXR. Next time the European season will be starting then with the Dutch Grand Prix at Zandvoort. That'll be our first league race there, so hopefully that'll go well. Thank you for watching this one, and I shall hopefully see you next time.